In the 1990s, they tried and failed. In the 2000s, they tried twice and failed. And ladies and gentlemen, in 2015, after 4 tries... Cue the intro music. Hi everybody, my name's Steven and I'm here to give you my review of the new Fantastic Four movie. Or as it's been called in all the trailers and all the banners and everything, Fan-4-Stick. Because you know, replacing an A with a number is so cool. And for those of you who don't know, Fantastic Four is the story of 4 individuals who gain fantastic powers after an experiment goes horribly wrong. Now in the old version of Fantastic Four, it was they went into space and were blasted by cosmic rays from a meteor and blah! But in this version it makes a little more sense because what it is interdimensional travel. An experiment that was started when Reed Richards and Ben Grimm decided to do an experiment when they were about 12 and then progressed to work on that experiment for about 7 years. Until they were discovered by Franklin Storm, the father of Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman. And guys, I'm gonna be honest with you here, this movie's not good at all. I'm gonna try my best not to just spend like 10 minutes of a video ripping this thing apart, but I can't promise you anything. So first, I'll go over the good-ish parts of the movie. So, first the good. Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan are 2 very good actors who are trying their best with what they're given. I've advocated for years that Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan should play superheroes, but these roles I don't know if they were meant for. Reed Richards I've always pictured as kind of an older guy, not exactly a teenager, but not exactly like 50 years old, like mid-20s to mid-30s, somewhere in that range. The wise man that even though he doesn't have the most fantastic of powers, he can just stretch his arms, he was still the tactician of the group. He was still the person giving the orders. In the comics, he's literally the smartest man in the entire Marvel universe. But in this movie, I didn't really get that so much. But Miles Teller is trying. Michael B. Jordan, he does okay in the moments that they let him be the Human Torch. They let him shine as this rebel hothead. That's what the Human Torch is. That's what he has to be. But other than that, it's a kind of struggled relationship with his dad where it's like he's a rebel and his dad's like, you shouldn't do that, son. And then like he's like, no dad, but you don't understand, I'm an adult and blah blah blah. And the other thing that I kind of liked about this movie is the concept of it, the idea of it. I'm glad that director Josh Trank tried to do something that was different than the modern blockbuster that we get now where it's like, we have to destroy the alien army or the robots are taking over Manhattan. In this movie, he's trying to do it like a science fiction thriller that just so happens to have the Fantastic Four in it. And that's where our problems start, in my opinion. Honestly, the problem with this movie is that at first glance, looking at the trailers, it looks like what could be an interesting little science fiction movie where people go to another dimension and then they're like, oh my gosh, this is kind of weird and interesting. Maybe we gained weird abilities and stuff like that. But the problem is it has the label of Fantastic Four on it. It has that label on it, therefore I am determined to look at it as a Fantastic Four movie and not as a science fiction thriller. And even as a science fiction thriller, it's not that good. The dialogue is not good. At no point do I feel like these characters care about each other. In the comics, Marvel has referred to the Fantastic Four as Marvel's first family. Family being the key word. Family being a group of characters that would go to hell and back for each other. But I don't see that in any of them. I see people who would maybe say hi to each other casually if they were working in an office together. That's it. I couldn't see how on earth Susan and Reed would ever fall in love in this version. I can't see how Ben and Reed would ever be friends. I can't see how Johnny Storm and Susan would ever be brother and sister. Even though Susan is adopted, and obviously they look different, the fact is that they don't have the brother-sister dialogue. On top of that, the structure of this movie is just not there. There's a beginning and there's an end, so you could technically say that it is a movie, but there is no second act or any character development in between. It is so bad. They get their powers, Doom becomes a bad guy all of a sudden, and then has this whole, I want to destroy the world plot out of nowhere too. There was no build up to it. He himself is not Doom from the comics. Doom from the comics, to me, is one of like top 5 Marvel villains. You have Magneto, you have Green Goblin, you have Loki, you have Thanos, and then you have Doctor Doom in terms of villains that could challenge anyone on the Avengers. And in this movie, they made him a crash test dummy who has a garbage bag over him, and they made his powers not make sense at all. Literally, he can just do anything. Like, there are scenes in this movie, he's just walking down a hallway, and he just makes people's guns fire on them. There's blood all over the walls. It makes that guy's head explode in the most cartoonish way possible, by the way. It was hilarious. But Doctor Doom in the comics didn't do that. He didn't have to have godlike power to be menacing. All he had to do was talk. And in this movie, he's a computer hacker that, frankly, I don't know why he's there. Even in the beginning of the movie, there's like this boardroom meeting with the big bad government who's trying to control the Fantastic Four for some reason. I don't know either. Like, one of the guys points it out and says, this guy's name is Victor Von Doom. Maybe he shouldn't be on the team. Well, the last name like Doom, why would you say that, sir? Not like he's gonna be the villain or anything like that. Oh, look what happened there. Literally, Doctor Doom comes out of nowhere. If he would have been saved for a sequel and they would have had something else in this movie, maybe it would have worked, but the problem is, overall, this movie's just empty. It's not there. The character interactions aren't there. The plot isn't there. The moments that you want to see in a superhero movie where it's like you go, yeah, in your seat. But this didn't provide anything at all that resembles any kind of an origin, any kind of some kind of team dynamic to this movie. It's not there. So guys, honestly, this might be the worst superhero movie ever made. I mean, Batman and Robin, while it is a god-awful movie, it's enjoyable to watch if you're just making fun of it with friends. This movie is boring. There are no characters, there are no laughs at all in this entire movie, which I'm okay with at some movies. The Dark Knight didn't have any laughs. But if you're gonna do that, have characters and dialogue that matter, but you don't! Honestly, guys, do not watch this movie, please. I'm begging you. Don't watch this movie because it will get a sequel if you do, and Fox will milk it, and Fox will try and make another one and try and end up, and it will, guess what? It will be worse than the other 2 movies that came before it. It already is. So do me a favor, do Hollywood a favor, do Marvel a favor, don't see this movie, and allow Marvel to get the rights to their first family back. Let them bring that colorful, awesome, fantastic Four that we know and love, but you're not going to find it in this movie. Avoid this movie at all costs, ladies and gentlemen, please. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I know that I'm kind of spoiling this last part, but spoiler alert, I guess. But I wanted to address something in this movie that really kind of put it over the edge for me. So, when they go to this other dimension, which, by the way, they title Earth Zero instead of the Negative Zone from the comics. The Negative Zone sounds much cooler, first of all, and Earth Zero sounds like something a child made up. When they go to this other dimension, they go because the government, the big bad government bad guy, decides to go, no, you all can't go. We want professionals to go in and do this. Which makes sense, because why would you send in 4 teenagers to go do something that professionally trained astronauts could do? It makes sense to me, but these guys, Victor Von Doom and all those guys, are hanging out one night having a drink because they're like, whenever the government told us we couldn't do it. And so they're drinking, and then Victor Von Doom goes, everyone remembers Lance Armstrong? They don't remember the guy who built the Apollo. I don't remember. We should be both. Should be both of them, too. That's what we should be. And so Reed Richards calls up his buddy Ben and says, hey man, you wanna go to a different dimension with me? And Ben goes, are you drunk? And then he goes, yeah, it doesn't matter. And then Ben's like, okay, very reluctantly. Ben's the only one I empathize with during this entire movie, by the way, because he doesn't want to be there, neither do I. But they go to this other dimension as a result of a drunken mistake. It wasn't on the brink of scientific discovery. It was because we want to get there first, and that's exactly why. Because I'm Reed Richards and I'm Victor Von Doom. We should get there first because we. So, spoiler alert gone, guys. Guys, I really do appreciate you watching this video. I know it got kind of lengthy, but I just wanted to let you guys know that you should not see this movie. Do not give it your hard-earned money. You deserve better as an audience member. And if you like this video and you want to see more, press that like button, maybe even the subscribe button. I'm going to try and upload videos once or twice a week. I know this is one of my first, but I'll be doing music, I'll be doing movie reviews, I'll be doing discussions and things like that. And if you want to see that, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. But guys, that's it for today. This is Steven Jensen. I really do appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.